everybody, it's Stephen of Bland Designs, and I haven't made a video in a while, so I'm just catching up here now. I've been away, second half of September. I was away for 2 weeks, went on a cruise from England to France to Spain to Portugal. It's kind of a wine cruise, visited several wineries in both France and in Spain and in Portugal, and that was really a great time. I've also been working on my second workshop that I'm going to be giving to my retired teacher friends. If you remember, there's a short video clip of the last one that I gave, and this one's a Christmas themed one, so I'm going to do a video to show you the projects we're going to be making at that one. Today's project, I want to show you how you can use take advantage of the fall colors and collect some leaves and use an old technique in a modern way. The old technique was we used to take leaves, pick them up, and wax them. We used to put them between 2 sheets of wax paper with an iron and make them last for a long time, kind of a thing. Well, I've updated that technique by using my hot laminator. And I'm going to show you 5 different things you can do with laminated leaves that bring a little bit of the fall color into your home. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is how to laminate leaves. All right, so here's my leaves right here, and these just came from my front lawn. I have a small maple tree in the front of it, and I just picked them up off the lawn and I laminate them. Now, there is a trick to this I found. I had to do some experimentation. This time of the year, the leaves, when you pick them up off your lawn, are going to be moist. There's still like fluids inside of them. So you want to get rid of that first before you do the lamination. Otherwise, the laminate will not adhere to the leaf. The laminate is actually a plastic, and I'm talking about a hot laminating machine. I'm not sure how this will work in one of those cold laminating machines. Everything I'm referring to is a hot laminator. The laminate, what it actually does is it penetrates into the paper. Usually it's what you're laminating is paper, in this case the leaves, to make a bond, a seal. Now if there's moisture in your leaf, you're going to get a little foggy part. Actually, this one, you can't see it on camera, I'm sure, but this one actually has a little foggy area on the one side because it wasn't quite dried out enough. This is one of my first attempts. What you need to do is you need to iron them. Now, if you're familiar with hot laminators, most of them come with what they call a traveling packet, which is like this. It's just 2 sheets of paper basically, and the lamination sheet goes in between. What I did was I put a piece of parchment paper on the inside of this. I laid my leaf onto the parchment paper, put another sheet of parchment paper over top of it, put it down, and using a hot iron, not set on steam, just the hottest temperature, basically I pressed down on the leaf. And you can actually hear, if you listen carefully, the moisture inside the leaf sort of evaporating. It sounds like it's steaming, sort of a thing. And I went over it several times until I felt that it was pretty much as dry as you're going to get it. Now, when you take it out after you've done that, the leaf will be a little brittle, so you want to handle it carefully. The next thing you do is you get your laminate sheet, and in the case of my laminator, the sheets that I buy are sort of a little pocket, and you just place your dried leaves inside this. Get in as many as you can, but don't let them touch, because if you let them touch, they're going to stick together, laminate, and then you got a problem. Put the sheet down, and then place it in the traveler packet, and then run it through your laminator. Now you're going to have to run your laminator at the highest setting, so make sure it's well warmed up. I let mine warm up for about 10-15 minutes, and I put it on the highest setting for the heat, and it's also usually the slowest setting too for pulling the sheet through the laminator. You're going to have to run it through several times, and what I do is I run it through a couple of times one way, and then I flip it over and I run it through a couple of more times the other way. Now I check it, and before I'm finished with the laminator, I just take a look here to see if there's any moisture spots, and if there are, I'll run it through a couple of more times. I usually find I have to run it through my laminator probably 4 to 6 times before it's all the moisture has been absorbed, and that's why that first stage with the iron is very important. Otherwise, you're going to get pockets of air created by the moisture, and your laminate's not going to stick. Okay, so once you've done that, you take out the laminated sheet, and then you just simply take a pair of scissors and cut them out all the way around. And then, just as an extra safeguard, a precaution for this, You want to leave about 1/8 of an inch of laminate all around the edge of the leaves when you cut them. But I take them again and put them in the traveler after I've cut them out and run them through a couple more times through the hottest setting in the laminator just to make sure everything is well sealed. All right, so that's all there is to laminating the leaves, and these are going to last a long time. I have some that I did over 10 years ago that I actually use as a wall display, and they're perfect. They're just as the same as they were the very first day. Actually, in some ways, I think that's better than waxing them, because with the waxing them, they will become brittle over time. Whereas with the laminator, well, who knows how long they're going to last. I pretty much figure forever. So that's how I laminate the basic leaves. Now, what do you do with them once you have them laminated? Well, as I said, you can create a wall sculpture. This is not a wall sculpture. I have a much bigger one, but basic technique is the same. I can't show you the one that's on the wall because I can't get it off the wall. So what you do is you just layer the leaves together and glue them down. Now, I have found that the best glue to use for this, it takes longer to dry, but it holds the best, is Glassy Accents. This glue seems to hold everything really, really well. It will take overnight to dry, so be patient with your project. You can use a hot glue gun if you wish. The only problem I find with hot glue guns, and I don't know if it's because of the type of glue sticks that I'm buying, but the strings, you know, the hot glue strings, and I seem to get an awful lot of those, and they're on everything, and I spend more time picking the strings off than the time I took to heat up the gun and glue the things. Also, because laminate is a plastic, it will melt the plastic, and it can, not that that's going to be a problem if you're not going to see that part of it, but I just don't like it as well. I just find Glassy Accents much better. Okay, so as I said, you can layer the leaves in a pattern whichever way you want, and you can make it as big as you want. All it depends on the leaves. This one has a variety of leaves. And what I've also done, so the first technique is you can make a very nice looking wall display. Next technique is do the same technique, make it a little smaller, put a magnet on the back, and guess what? You've got a fridge magnet for holding notes or whatever you want. So that's technique number 2. Technique number 3, really simple. You want a bookmark? You got a bookmark. You can use these as a bookmark. Now in a moment I'm going to show you something else that can make the bookmark a little bit upgraded a little bit, I guess you would say. But simple bookmark. The other thing you can do with them, coaster. There you go. Great. Now, maybe not so great on something really hot. All right, I wouldn't recommend it on that because the plastic, although it's very, once it's gone through the laminator, it's fairly heat resistant. Something really hot that sits on for a while is going to leave at least an impression or a mark on it. So more for your cold drinks. But think about this, your dining room table. You're having guests over for a dinner party. You want a fall theme. Wouldn't this be nice under their wine glasses? Here's a bigger one. Just that added little touch to your table. All right, so that's 3 techniques. Wall display, fridge magnet, coaster. What did I leave out? Oh, bookmarks, that's 4. Now my 5th one, and this is the one I'm most excited about, is my note holder. This is my note holder, okay? Now, same technique. You take 3 leaves, 4 leaves, whatever you want, laminate them together. Let's take one out here. I use basically 3 leaves. So glue them down using Glassy Accents again for this kind of thing. Let them dry overnight. And then while that's drying, get yourself one of these. It's a binder clip. This is a small one. You can use whatever size you want. It depends on how big your leaf display is going to be. And you take another leaf, one that's laminated, or in this case, I had bought at the dollar store some of these little silk leaves, almost look like the real thing. I bought these because they had more color in them than the leaves that I was using, so I just thought it would spruce it up. And you glue the binder clip, you just flip it over, put little Glassy Accents on it again, here, take one of the little prongs, and just glue it right to the back of that. Again, you're going to let this sit overnight. Then when that's dry, you can glue it, and let's pretend that we've got the leaf on here, but you basically take the other clip and glassy accents and glue it here. So what you have is what you see here. So if you see, I have the little clip right there, you know, so I can open it and close it. And then I found these little fancy, I found these at the dollar store as well. They're Post-it notes. I just took a few out, and you just clip them. And you can use any style of Post-it note or any kind of note paper you want. And now you've got a notepad, which when you put a couple of magnets on the back, and you'll notice that magnets are different on this one than the ones that I used on this. That was a big one that you cut out from, you know, it's got paper on one side. You can put it through your printer and put a design on it. I found these magnets online, and they're super strong. They're very small, they're very flat, but they're very, very strong. They hold very well to a metal surface like a refrigerator. And I use glassy accents, pardon my tongue-tiedness, and glued them to that and just let those dry overnight. So now you can hang this on your fridge. You can write your notes. You can take your notes off. It's refillable. You can put another pad in. I've actually made 4 of these for my workshop for my retired teacher friends. I'm giving each one of them that as a little takeaway gift from the workshop. So that's the other technique. Now I mentioned that something about this that you could also use with a single leaf as a bookmark. You can do the same process with the little clip, glue it to the back of this, and then you have a little clip that you can clip to the actual pages or to a group of pages if you want to mark a spot with them. Just holds it into the book a little bit better. Okay, so those are 5 different techniques that you can use with the leaves that you find in your yard or wherever, laminating them and making them into these great little projects. So I hope you really like this video. Send me your comments, and later on I'm going to show you another video where I have used these clips for something to do with your old Christmas cards, and I call them fascinators. Now I'm not talking about the kind of fascinators that one wears on their head. Okay, something different. So stay tuned for that video. Hope you have a good day. Bye for now.